say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is...
Hello. Good evening. It is 8:30 p.m. It is Thursday night, and you know what that means. It is yet again another episode of Between Two Beards, the first Between Two Beards episode of the year 2022. And tonight we are going to have a year in review. No.
And what a year it has been. The nominees for
Day
Best
6.
Year. Wait, day 6, baby. Put the graphic on the screen, Alex. It's day 6. You know what that means. Pluggo's here. JPJ. We're about to blow some budgets. Oh, buddy, what a time to be alive.
Well, officially, since this is the first time I've physically seen you, Happy New Year, Pluggo.
Oh, well, thank you.
I hope it's been a splendid start for you.
It has. It's been splendid is not the word I would use.
Yeah, you almost died the other night.
Yes, between the car troubles that I had with the brakes. Listen, folks, if your brakes are starting to go get them looked at. Don't do what I did and let it be. I'll get it tomorrow. And then they go out and you have to NASCAR maneuver your way home. Whew.
Not ideal.
Anyway.
Not ideal. Anyway, speaking of New Year,
New Year, same us, baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, bigger and better.
Yeah.
Bigger and better. Oh, look at that. We got our friends in the chat. How we doing,
those
Ryan?
Swogs, my man.
Yes, always great to see you, my friend.
Truth. He spits the truth.
It's true.
It's fact.
It's true. It's pretty true.
The beards don't lie.
Oddly enough, I think I want to start, as a people funnel in here, I think I want to start tonight's episode by talking about WWE.
Uh-oh. Which part of WWE?
Yeah, we're going to talk multiple parts WWE tonight.
The good ones? The bad ones?
And boss, Spencer, please be conscious of the budget. New year, new B2B, right?
New year, new budget to blow.
Oh.
Hey! Put that on a t-shirt. Let's go.
Oh, Spencer's like, I just complimented them. Damn it.
He sure did.
We'll try to be better. I can say on my end, we'll try to be better. Can't promise anything, but we'll try to be better.
We can try, but that don't mean, you could try. That's it.
Yeah.
That means it's gonna happen. Anyway.
All right. I want to talk about day one. Not so much in depth, because there was great content where you can see we had a reacts. You can go back and check that out on YouTube.
On the tubes.
And speaking of, if you are on YouTube right now, give us a thumbs up. Tap the bell for notifications. Give us some love over at Love Wrestling. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe. We're doing some great things. The year 2022 is going to be a very big one for us here at Love Wrestling. It's going to be a very big one for us here at Between Two Beards as well. Yeah. So give us some love, people. Give us some love. But yeah, I want to talk about day one. I don't want to dive in deep to like the card or talk about every match, but I want to talk about Roman and what happened because of the situation with Roman, with Brock Lesnar winning the WWE title, being added to the 4-way to make it a 5-way, and then winning the belt. Our buddy Josh is in the chat. Hello, Josh. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
And speaking of budget, Spencer, we gave Josh the night off
Yep.
to incur some costs. So there you go. We saved a little bit of money tonight. There will be no
Fiscally
unhinged.
responsible. Fiscally responsible. We're going to start the new year off light, and then we're going to we'll dive in.
But we love Josh, and hopefully he'll be back soon.
Absolutely. All right. So, I mean, we do not have a scheduled guest tonight, so.
And live appearances are
kind of our thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, are you forcing our hand here to spend money? I'm trying to be good this year.
I know. Spencer asked us to. Oh, he said he did it. He said he'll do it for free.
Oh,
okay. So then we gotta. If we can send Josh the link, if someone could send Josh the link, that would be ideal. And then we will dive in. I'm going to save the day. I'll wait for Josh. So Pluggo, tell the people the story of how you almost died the other night.
Oh. You want me to tell that on air? Okay.
No. Not you. We don't need the circumstances, but just what happened.
Like I said, check your brakes, people. If you're having issues with the brakes, check them. They went out mid-drive. That's some scary shit.
Like you told me that. I'm like, you told me that. I was like, well, thank God you're alive. So
it'd be one beer tonight.
That sucks, but thank God you're alive.
But yes, it was
Goose, honk,
baby.
How we doing? Oh, we got our buddy Tim in the chat.
Me talking about dying, but yes, folks, check the brakes. We don't have a brake sponsor, but if somebody wants to sponsor us, man, brake wise, I will be your biggest advocate. Like I've never experienced that
Callahan.
before.
You can do a Callahan brakes.
Callahan Auto.
Callahan Auto. Those are the brakes you need.
Uh-oh.
Here he is.
He's unhinged.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, the stash is out.
There we are.
Between the ears is a mustache.
I am not one to invite myself onto a show, but I just genuinely invited myself onto a show.
This show, the door's always open. You know that.
Yeah, and the stash is out. I look like a porn star, and I'm so into it.
So are we. I mean,
it's true. It's true.
Maybe I should start an OnlyFans.
Hey.
No, not really. Look at this, though. Look at this over here. Inspiration.
Yeah, that is good.
Finally. Took long enough to get here.
They're wrestling on Saturday, right?
They are.
To Kill? I thought so. I thought I saw that. That's awesome.
Okay. Well, it's your show.
Big Ben coming in hot. Big Ben angry as no. I was reading. Anyway, yes. No, I want to talk about day one.
If you know what Josh Shins is, you definitely are a fan of the show. I get it.
Oh no. Off the rails, right from the start.
All right, guys, who's your favorite porn star? Welcome to the new
year. I can nearly guarantee, Pluggo, we are not watching the same porn.
You never know. I like a little variety in life.
How can you not?
That random button's wonderful.
So, Brock Lesnar. No. Me and Josh on the J&J Power Hour, which was released this morning, our time in Eastern Standard Time, but it's everywhere now on YouTube. You can go check that out. We talked about day one a little bit more in depth. I don't want to dive in so much, but I just wanted Pluggo your opinion, and now Josh, because he's here as well, about, obviously Roman tested positive, had to be removed from the main event, and the show was being built around Lesnar and Roman. So they add Lesnar to the Fatal 4-Way to make it a Fatal 5-Way. And I don't know if you can call it to the shock, because with Lesnar, and he can win at any time, but Lesnar ends up winning the WWE title, pinning Big E no less, to win. And now he is the WWE champion. He shows up on Raw with Heyman in tow, just back together again. Pluggo, I'll start with you.
I mean,
what do we think of this?
I liked the match when we found out Roman was, tested positive for COVID, and I was like, all right, they're going to insert him into the match. I thought that the Bobby Lashley Lesnar dynamic would eliminate each other, similar to they kind of did that with Drew and Lashley at I can't remember what it was, but they were in a match either way. And so I thought the match was fun. I liked all the very, very full of spots, chaotic. I thought they did Big E absolutely dirty. You want to give the title to Brock? Sure. Did you have to pin Big E to do it? Like, I didn't like that. And I didn't necessarily, because I kind of liked where we were going with Lesnar and Reigns. I really enjoyed where that story could have ended up. And now you have to do a bunch of legwork to get back to that. Like, Reigns just got cleared today.
Yeah, he's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow. They've already announced it. So
you couldn't have done Brock in a squash match or Brock take an L in a not take an L. It's a fatal 5-way. No shame in losing a fatal 5-way.
Yeah, especially if you're not involved in the finish. Like, what are you going to do? You know?
Yeah, if you're that's the point of the fatal 5-way. And so I guess I'm kind of talking in circles because I'm feel bad for Big E for taking the L, but Brock, they could have just restarted this thing on Friday. So is now Brock on Mondays, and we're not going to do the Roman thing? We're not going to pay that off?
Yeah, and I'll transition to Josh with this question. There has been a little bit of a few things talk on the social media about this, but do you think there's a chance that they unify the titles?
Oh, we're pro Brock here, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. Earlier you said I'm pro Brock. I'm a pro Brock guy. I think he's one of the few literal big draws they have. Yeah, Josh, go ahead.
I think there's always, you never really know what's going to happen. They have cut down the roster size a great deal in the last 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, however long we've been going on with this. But they have cut down the roster size a lot. But in that same vein, if you look at, I'm not saying everybody, majority of the names, definitely not everybody. They are people that necessarily weren't really shaking the shows up. They weren't really people that were, in the storylines every single week. It was, aside from a few, there is always exceptions to the rule. So I don't necessarily know if unifying championships is going to be a thing. I do think that sometimes WWE's mentality is when they announce something that wasn't previously announced, they want to make it look like anyone can win at any time. So I think that's more of the idea of obviously, WWE book on the fly. They do not book with long-term plans outside of their very few things that they do, like a Roman Reigns or something like that. But I even think that is booked with kind of changes and everything like that. So I think Brock winning was more so of the hey, shock and awe. Oh my God, anyone can win at any time. And then maybe it will go back to Lashley, and then Lashley and I don't know, you name your person, and that could be in there. But I don't necessarily think there's a chance. Of course there's a chance. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I don't personally see it, but I think the only way, I think I've said this to you many times, JPJ. I think we've had many conversations about this. You can't do a brand split half-assed. You either do it or just don't. I could give two shits. Just be consistent with what you're offering. If you don't want a brand split, let's cut down some titles because we don't need this many championships. Let's cut down some of the roster. Let them go and condense and actually focus on your talent at hand and go, okay, let's put some time and effort into everybody, not just the same group of people, because we have so many people.
And
so
it should be special. It should be special when a Brock jumps to Raw. Right?
Well, he's not. I will say this:
if you're gonna brand split it, it should just. I mean, it should be special.
They have explained that he is a free agent.
Yeah.
That is true.
At least they have. At least they. I have said this so many times. I don't care what the scenario is. I don't care if it's because Brock Lesnar likes Coca-Cola more than Pepsi. Just explain to me why he likes Coca-Cola more than Pepsi instead of just it happening. You know what I mean? Just explain to me. They explain he's a free agent. I'm like, okay, that's all I need. It took 15 seconds for you to tell me Paul Heyman made him a contract that he's a free agent. He can be on Raw SmackDown. Done deal. So that doesn't bother me. But just, WWE's, I think, overall lining kind of shitstorm is that they're very inconsistent.
I just meant your true form of a brand split. If you're going to do it, make it work, and it should be special when people jump. This was just a jump for the sake of a moment. Now you have to figure out who's ready for Brock. Is it going to be Lashley? Then they're doing that at the Rumble. And now what do you do with Roman on Friday?
But that's how WWE books. And
Like,
me
Okay,
and Josh,
but also, I'm
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate here. Okay, I didn't like Big E. Big E should not have been the one to take the fall. Rollins, Owens, someone like that should have, and it would have been okay. Whatever, they're fine. They're heels that can lose and then win the title the next day. It wouldn't matter. But playing devil's advocate, how exciting is it that we're finally getting Lashley and Lesnar?
yes.
yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
I'm
But
very
does that
excited
need
about
does that need the WWE Championship involved?
No, I don't think so.
Big E, as great as he is, probably needs the WWE Championship way more than Brock Lesnar needs the championship because Big E isn't he's nearly established, but he's not there. Brock Lesnar could fight a piece of metal and would be like, all right, we'll watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dan says, no, he doesn't think they'll unify the title. He says the companies don't play well together. USA threw a fit when SmackDown had a Hell in a Cell match. So WWE put Lashley and Woods in a Hell in a Cell on Raw the day after. That is true. They did do that.
Yeah.
They did do that.
I don't think
think
you need to unify them. I think you could do I think separate brands got their own title. That's fine with me. I just, again, like, what are we doing tomorrow night? What are you doing? Roman's back, and you just took his Brock?
But he's a free agent, so technically he can show up on SmackDown.
But now,
and he's
why?
probably going to.
He is. He said on Raw that he's going.
Oh yeah,
to see
so
Roman.
yeah, he's going to SmackDown. So he's
Well,
going to be
my
there.
question is why? You've got your own title now. You don't need Roman.
Well, I guess
Well,
he
that's
still
why
hates
people-
Brock.
Yeah.
Roman's. My apologies.
I mean, the only way they can possibly. I mean, he's fighting Lashley at the Rumble.
That's a lot of weight
think-
to carry around, bro.
I
titles?
think there's a good chance that Roman costs Brock the title and Lashley wins the title at Royal Rumble. I think that's a very much a possibility.
This year's Mania seems very messy. There's not a lot
I
of
don't know if
options.
there's one match that they do. Is there a match that
Well, Roman
anyone's
and Brock
certain
seems
is that
to be
Roman
their
and
way.
Brock seems to be the only
But
one,
like,
right?
okay, I don't mind this Roman and Brock story, but we have seen that at Mania twice,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily. I'm not saying it's not Mania worthy. It is. It's their biggest story they have going. That's for certain. But
Mhm.
like, okay, so Roman and Brock is a thing, and then the option, like, if Lashley wins back the title, are we just going to do Lashley and Big E again? Like, are we just going to do Who is going to fight Bobby Lashley that we haven't really seen that really peaks out? We got to wait for the Rumble, obviously, and someone could out of the blue could win it. But like, I don't know. There's not really a lot of options across the board for Mania. Like, Charlotte Flair is the current SmackDown Women's Champion. Do we want to see her fight Sasha Banks again at Mania? Sure, it'll be
No.
fine, but like, we've seen it. Like, there's not a lot of depth they have going on. Like, what's Drew McIntyre going to do?
He's in. I think he might be out.
Well, he's okay. Yeah, he's granted if he is okay.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Like, what real feuds is there for him to do that we haven't really seen? That is a big problem that we have going on within WWE at the moment, is that sure, they have stars and sure, they have a couple of big matches here or there, but they have no depth to anything. And Brock winning the title is kind of validating my point of not having a lot of depth, because sometimes they're like, well, what else can we do?
Yeah. What else can we do? Just put it back on Brock, and then that's
And not a
how they
complaint,
go.
because I like Brock Lesnar, but like, he doesn't need that. He is bigger than that almost. He could main event over that any day, and we wouldn't really bat an eye to it.
Yeah, it's true. Which is why Braun Breaker. No, he did win the NXT Heavyweight title at New Year's Evil, which was a very, very good show. I would like to see Braun Breaker in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I would like to see him in the Royal Rumble. There was a WWE.
He talks like a Steiner. He walks like a Steiner. But
Yeah,
he's not
they
a
even
Steiner.
had Rick Steiner, oddly enough, after the show went out off the air, come out
Hit
and
the
celebrate
Steiner
in the
recliner.
ring.
Yeah.
He won with the Steiner recliner, and he did the top rope bulldog.
But,
Come on,
But he's a breaker, not a
Yeah.
Steiner.
come on.
Come on.
Hey, I mean, I
Just
like
call
it.
him Rex Steiner.
It's
Let's go.
one of the dumbest names in the history of professional wrestling. Literally,
But
it
he's
is
killing it
awful.
right
But he's
now.
good.
Yeah, he's
I like
good.
him.
He's good.
Man, Braun Breaker, what a
Talk
name.
about a good match, though. You didn't even mention Carmelo Hayes and Roddy.
That spot that Carmelo Hayes took off the top rope, I thought he was going to pass away.
That
Yeah.
was that was a match, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. That was a good show. That was a good show.
It was a good show.
All right, so we talked a little bit
Year
about.
end review.
Yeah.
I was
talked a
so
little bit
confused by this gimmick. I was like, what? Wait, my little brain cannot understand what's going on here. And then I understood it. And I'm like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
But I didn't at the start.
Yes, it was, Dan. It was. Man, it was good.
We don't even understand half the gimmicks most of the time. It's okay.
Well, when he says we, he means him.
Yeah.
He means him.
Me.
All right,
Yeah,
I do want
JPJ just shows up on Thursdays. It's my brain.
to show up and get after it. No, I wanted to talk
all the
about
bad stuff is me.
the NXT. We got to talk about it a little bit. The releases again, specifically, there was a lot of inner, not talent releases. However, some of the names we did know. And there we go. Bobby's mentions a few of them there. Timothy Thatcher and Danny Burch were released. They had been working as agents in the back for a little bit now with 2.0. But the big two is one of them was announced yesterday, and that was, to me, William Regal, which when I think of NXT, there's two people I think of. Like a lot, like if I'm not talking about wrestlers, performers, it's Triple H and William Regal. So William Regal being released in general, I expect he will not be out of work long. But yeah, that's like
what did he do?
it's like there's like a true end. It's like a true end of the era of like that NXT. Like they've been slowly doing it, but I feel like yesterday those were all Hunter's boys. Those were all Hunter's boys. And Vince was like, I'm getting rid of all of them. Road Dogg, the only one you're keeping is Sean, man. That's it. Road Dogg, gone.
Well, Matt Bloom and Sarah Mado are still
Yeah, that's
there
true.
As of right
That's
now.
true.
As of right now.
Yeah,
Calm down,
yeah.
everyone. Don't attack me. I was very scared that Sarah was going to get released, and I was like, well, women's wrestling in WWE is going to die a very slow, painful death.
Yeah.
I just don't like William
Wrestling
Regal
in general, but
has been with that company for how long?
Regal hurts
And
my heart.
he's got such a good mind for the business. You can't find anything.
How do you call yourself World Wrestling, by the way, entertainment, and not have literally, I think, probably the greatest mind in the history of professional wrestling, and that is William Regal. He doesn't just understand wrestling, by the way. He gets the entertainment side of things. We've seen William Regal in so many things just be the most entertaining. He's like that straight man that just says something funny all the time. You're like, you're hilarious. And he's just, you watch William Regal in his, even not in his prime, you watch him when he's older in the ring, and it's just like, this is just the most, he just has the ultimate embodiment of what psychology is in professional wrestling, and just a masterpiece of a wrestler. And
they're like,
he is the single reason why we have 85% of the people that are on top in WWE right now, outside, even like your Roman Reigns and stuff like that, all come under the umbrella of NXT. And the person that was one of the most instrumental people in creating all of this is Regal. He put his job on the line for, so you've seen all these posts from people like Becky and people like all of the we wouldn't have the 4 horsewomen if it wasn't him going to bat.
Sasha said something
all
today
of them.
too.
Seth Rollins, like
Rollins,
these guys.
Ambrose at the time, now Moxley. All of these people he was a scout for finding
Big E
all of this talent.
One of them too.
Big E, like the Shield wouldn't have been like, it's all indirect, but the Shield wouldn't have been a thing. Like Kevin Owens, all of these people that we love right now that are kicking ass. You look at that 5-way at what was that pay-per-view called? Day one, and 3 out of 5 people in that match were all under the umbrella of William Regal and all of this. Like, I don't know. I just don't. It's just what that was. There's no such thing to me anymore. I don't care who it is. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you say. There's no such thing as a WWE for life talent unless your name is McMahon. I don't care who it is. Because don't say to me like Roman Reigns could never get released. Well, I didn't think that a lot of these people could get released, and they are. So I just don't have that in me anymore to believe.
And then, a guy like Samoa Joe.
Well, that's who I was going to get into next. That's the second big one, which was announced today. Fightful reported it.
He got released twice.
Yeah, twice in the last calendar year.
Just go back to what they did. Like, so they didn't want him to wrestle because he wasn't cleared. So he made the best of a bad situation and killed it on commentary. And then they just cut him. They're like, bye.
Yeah,
'Cause he
and then they
wanted to
bring him
wrestle.
back.
Then they bring him back and tell him he's going to be the focal
NXT
point of this
champion.
NXT champion. This is the direction we're going. And then like a week or two later, they're like, NXT 2.0. We have no room for anybody that is not NXT 2.0. And they left him hanging. Like, I just imagine what Samoa Joe's year would have been like had he not re-signed in the WWE,
Yeah.
Like,
And Matt
because he had
says,
offers, he could have went anywhere.
yeah, and Matt says, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman are two people that we probably thought would never be released.
Right.
And it's I think there's truth to it that there aren't many.
The gimmick. Did you say my name? It's Adam. It's Adam.
There aren't many people that you can probably name that are truly would be safe.
Yeah.
That's just the vibe. Like,
there's like a handful.
Yeah.
People.
Literally.
Michael Cole is one of those people.
Yeah, I bet you.
I don't,
yeah.
Like Michael Cole, but I never thought Mike Chioda would ever get released. And he did.
Yeah.
I never thought people like that would. Braun Strowman is a WWE mold. Like he is what WWE, what we think Vince loves. And he's no longer in the company, like Matt said. It's just crazy. Also, I'm very much hearing the fact that we have three different ways of speaking. We all have very different accents, and it's hilarious to me. I'm like, we are really on the spectrum of everything because you've got a very thick Boston accent, and then there's Pluggo, who's more of like what I visualize as like your generic American, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. And then
I'm a Midwestern, so that
right. I spew I don't even know what I'm saying half the time because I can't even understand what I'm saying. So like, what is going on here?
Between two beards brings the whole world together.
Pluggo, your best friend's in the chat. The wordsmith popped in there. He said Adam needs a job. And then Matt said Tony Storm made the right call and just straight up quit before it was too late.
She was like, bye.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out. I'm not. Wait, where are we going? No, I'm paying for my own flight the fuck home. I'm going home. Like, that's what I'm doing.
We talk about this with every release. It sucks that people lose their jobs, but we also understand that the company that they're working for isn't using a lot of these people to their full potential, or is just blind and doesn't see what they have.
BFAB said something really. She said, "You're not signing a contract. You're signing a temporary agreement." And it's like, wow, I don't even know. I apologize for what BFAB's shoot name is. I don't know. Is it Brianna?
Something like that.
I honestly don't know.
I don't want to be.
She calls herself The Vibe, but she's on TikTok all the time and she's hilarious because she's like, fuck these hoes. But yeah, she's like, she's like, what? She said that. She's just said it's a temporary agreement. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, she's not.
And she's green as shit in the business and she understands it.
100%. Oh, man. All right. Let's talk about
By the way, I'm in for the long haul, guys. Kick me out whenever you want.
It's good. It's good.
We've always said it's an open door policy. You're getting Josh unhinged for a full hour tonight, guys.
I'm not very unhinged today. I don't mind.
I think Goose says, didn't he have another undisclosed injury? Talking about Samoa Joe. Yeah, he had to give up the title after he won it. When he gave up the belt,
but he got injured for this company.
Yeah,
and they're just like, no. Fuck you.
Matt says WWE could find anything for Malachi Black to do on the main roster. Now look at him in AEW, one of the most protected and over guys in the company. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few guys in AEW that WWE couldn't figure out what to do with that are succeeding, but there's ex-WWE people everywhere. The Inspiration and Impact are succeeding.
Steve
Macklin is now undefeated in Impact. He's got a big match this weekend.
I just don't like. And you're releasing.
They had Deonna Purrazzo on the roster for over a year. She went Tony D. No, she went 1-15 or something ridiculous like that on television.
She's getting squashed by Nia,
and she was the third ranked woman in the PWI 500 of last year.
And honestly,
she was just there and they just weren't using her.
Yeah. Britt Baker had a cup of coffee in that system. Like, I mean, I don't know how it works. Some people just flourish in different systems. I don't know, like I said, but what they're doing today and yesterday is these are like wrestling
Miro's feuding
minds.
with God.
These are Miro and God are in a feud.
Like they're
Mini
feuding.
Internet, you know what I'm saying? But these are people that have a mind for this business and understand it's not just about the moves. And you're just letting them go. Like, who's now directing the Grayson Wallers of the world? Like, Shawn Michaels is possibly
why would you say Grayson Wallers?
You know, but listen, but you
just mean the younger generation, like the younger.
I don't like him either, but I'm just saying, like,
I mean, he's fighting AJ Styles next week. I mean, that's a big spot. He was on Raw. He was on Raw. No, I know you don't like him, and I don't think he's that good either. As Josh says, he's the drizzling shits.
He's the drizzling shits.
And I don't disagree, but that's a big
Sydney bitch.
Sorry, Pluggo. Continue. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Fine. Let me who's there grooming the Von Wagners of the world? Sorry, that's worse.
No hope
even
for that
worse.
No hope for that one. No hope for that one. I will say, go ahead.
Who's running the show back there now?
Shawn Michaels is the guy down there right now, right?
But
Sean only has one eye. Can we just talk about that for a second? And like, we've just got to be remember that. Like, sometimes things aren't in place in NXT. It's like the dude is like, oh my god! Like, I love Shawn Michaels, by the way.
He doesn't even know people got released yet because he can't see that direction. He hasn't turned his head. Oh,
Timothy Thatcher doesn't even have a phone. I don't even know how he got the call.
Yeah, he's like
carry a pigeon.
He's like, where'd Road Dogg go? Oh, hey.
Am I employed?
Dan says that Braun and Carmelo are right there. Yeah, I think Braun and Carmelo you can look at. Braun Breaker, I think, is only 23.
But even they need some seasoning. And
I don't think Carmelo needs that much more season. I think Carmelo is.
I think you can always grow. I just, like I'm saying, who's back there? Shawn Michaels is like the old grandpa reeling in all these kids. Like, there's got to be somebody else. Right?
Listen, Shawn Michaels is. Oh, Spencer's gonna get at me. Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time. So to have someone in that spot directing stuff, however, Shawn Michaels might be a fantastic, one of the best wrestlers of all time. He is not a seasoned coach. He hasn't been doing this a very long time. With Hunter, effectively, we don't really know how much is going on behind the scenes with what Hunter is doing with his health. So Shawn Michaels kind of stepping into this role and now losing his most prominent figures that were kind of steering the ship, I guess you could say, or at least co-piloting NXT from a coaching standpoint. You lose a lot of them. You've got Matt Bloom. You've got Sarah Amato.
It's hard to have vision with one eye. That's all we're saying. It's hard to have.
It's just it just seems like.
Oh, I love Sean.
It seems like don't be a hater, Billy. You can hate the name. You can hate the name, but don't be a hater. Dog.
Nice to see you, Billy. But yeah,
no, good. Glad to have you in here, man. Yes, and according to Sean Ross Sapp, so Sean has been overseeing NXT 2.0 while Hunter's been out. So he's been kind of the main guy overseeing it.
Sean said on Denise Salcedo's interview show, he said that he's no longer a coach in NXT. He's been promoted to vice president of TV relations, which is basically the man underneath Hunter.
That's because there's no one left.
True.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, listen here.
He walks into the performance center. It's like just 9 rings with just like 3 people around.
He's like, what's going on? Where is everybody?
Which one's the ring?
This is it. This is what we got. All right, cool. Let's book a show. Man.
Do they? It's been a joking point across a lot of shows in the past week. But do they even have enough to fill these rumbles? Like they're running.
So out of with the
like
main
the women's
women. So there's 17 active women. 2 of those are champions. One of them at least will be in another championship match. That's 3 out, and 14 women.
Yeah. At
least we get surprises. I know that's a really, really morbid way to look at things.
Morello again. I hate it.
Yeah.
Spot.
Man.
I just want Melina. Can we just have Melina Perez in the Royal Rumble, please?
And Maurice and Beth aren't going to be in it because they're doing the mixed tag.
Maurice is going to win the Royal Rumble, guys. She's the greatest.
Well, we know who's the only entrant currently.
Will come back.
Yeah, we know who the only current entrant in the male Royal Rumble is. That's one Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, there's been more announced on Raw. The Mysterios are in the Rumble.
The Mysterios.
Come on, Dom Mysterio.
Dominic.
Hey, he's young.
John Knoxville. Let's go, baby. That's
Well,
the
I
match
actually
of the
I
night
was
right
all right.
there.
So I'm gonna take this. So the other day I was listening
Who
to
does
a
Johnny
podcast.
Knoxville face off with?
I think he should do
Who's his
Omos.
face
I think it
off?
should be. I think it should be with
You
Omos.
said that on the Power Hour.
I
didn't
did.
you?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm sticking by that because Knoxville's on the jackass. He hurts himself all the time. Like have Omos lift him up and throw him.
Did you just call it
50
the
feet.
Jackass?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville is in Jackass.
You said the Jackass, didn't you?
I was gonna say the Jackass like franchise or movies.
Gotcha. I was like,
The
oh, you
Jackass.
sound real old when you say that. I was like, oh no.
I mean, I'm not. I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 36.
You're not
Grandpa
old.
That's not
JPJ
old,
is
but
in
you
the
know.
house.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the look.
Oh, you know, I got the Jackass.
Damn it, I forgot what
on
I
the
was gonna
TV.
say. I was
Yeah,
gonna say something.
We messed that all up. for you.
Omos, Jackass.
It was before that. It was before that. I was gonna say something. But I forgot. God dang it. Anyway,
It's my fault. Blame it on me.
it's fine.
Josh, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about a draft topic because we haven't done a draft in a few weeks, maybe for a little later. And now that let's talk about Royal Rumbles. Let's talk about Royal Rumbles. I was thinking maybe we could do a Royal Rumble draft, like our favorite Rumble matches, like a favorite
God.
Rumble match draft.
On the spot.
No, we'll start in like a half hour.
Oh God, I do.
We'll do it at 9:30, and that's how we'll round out the show. Because I do want to talk about a little bit about Dynamite last night.
Dynamite?
Who would Knoxville toss out? Who's taking the L to Knox?
Oh, that's really immature. I laughed at that. I shouldn't have.
Who would be the person that
Who's taking
Knoxville would
that
eliminate?
Because you've already like fired most of your jobbers. So
Man.
R-Truth. I mean, R-Truth.
Producer Alex says Dom Mysterio. He could eliminate Dominic Mysterio, maybe. Billy in the chat says Rey Mysterio.
Such an uphill battle in his career.
Yeah. What about like R-Truth?
That's why. Yeah, R-Truth would be. He could take it. That'd be fine. That's the.
Or you could have an NXT. Like what do we?
Grayson Waller.
There you go. Could be Grayson Waller. What
just
are they?
Rant, just do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Quick grit in your teeth and just let 100%.
It out. No, but I wanted to talk
when
about
he
Hangman.
says like phenomenal Grayson Waller, it makes me want to shit in my mouth. Like I can't deal with it. I can't deal with him at all.
Phenomenal. I'm not going to do the accent.
Oh, that okay. Never ever do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
I will never speak to you in my life again.
I knew it. The second I said it, I was like, I'm not.
He always says lad, and he always goes, "Hey mate, hey, come on now, lad," and then he goes, "Phenomenal Grayson Waller," and I'm like, "Fuck up, shut the hell up." Is that how we sound? Because I want to run.
You don't sound like him. No, like his Waller is like Waller.
Phenomenal Grayson Waller. I swear he puts that on. He did not talk like that in Australian Survivor when he was on it a couple of years ago.
Oh, wait, is that how he got famous? Is that how he's kind of like not famous, but like, is that how? Oh, I didn't know that.
He was on Australian Survivor like maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe a little longer.
I had no idea.
He was a menace on that show. He was a tosser. And that's why I don't like him. It's because he was a tosser on that show. And then I was like, I've seen this guy somewhere. And I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that dude on a Survivor? And then I did my research and he's been on Survivor. I don't know what year it was. I'll look it up on my phone right now and I'll tell you, but carry on in your conversation and I'll tell you what year it is.
Oh, I want to talk about Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page 2. Yes.
What a damn match.
Oh,
what
my
a damn
God.
match.
Whew. That was a doozy. Man almighty. Man almighty. We watched these guys a couple weeks ago. Go an hour. They won an hour time limit draw on Dynamite, and that match was very, very good. And the match that we saw last night was so much better, in my opinion. And it was just, man, I know we've been joking around, but like that, it's going to be hard to beat that match. We're going to be talking about that match at the end of the year, this year.
For the Beardy.
For the match of the, like, that match was, no pun intended, phenomenal. That was a really, really
better than our 2021 Beardy Award winners, Rosa and Baker.
I mean, I don't know. From like a pure wrestling standpoint, like a wrestling match. Yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was so good.
It was 2019, by the way. Grayson Waller was on Australian Survivor Championships, Champions versus Contenders 2. And he essentially just played a version of his indie wrestling character from around the indie Australian scene. And he was an asshole.
Oh, got it.
I can tell you
Alright.
right now, you're not getting that kind of information on any other show. I love wrestling.
That's true.
That's right.
It does help that I've seen it on my television because I live in this country. But yeah, he was on that a couple of years ago. It's like, what, 3 years ago? What's math? 2019, 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
1,
now.
2, 3. Yeah. So just before he got signed WWE, he was
I mean,
was there.
2001 was like 5 years ago.
No,
Was
feels
it?
like it.
I wouldn't know either.
Yeah, so Hangman wins. He gets the victory. Damn, I almost did it. Bryan Danielson's first official loss, like Matt said in the chat, first official loss in AEW.
He has now only been defeated in 2022. His
true.
record is clean, and he is a loser.
Yep. So he is 0-1.
Big fat
And we will
loser.
We'll talk about someone else who's 0-1 in AEW in 2022 in a few minutes. But I'll get the initial. I know we said what a match and things of that nature, but that was Hangman's a star. All right, Hangman's over. He's a star in that company. But a victory like that last night, that cements him as, I think, like,
Danielson is God tier right now. He can do no wrong. And I think he knows it, right? Like he's like, I can take an L to this. Like, we all know Hangman. We love Hangman. But you put him in a match with Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, to all the WWE people that are maybe coming over to watch, and he's putting this dude on the map, and you're going, oh, this Hangman guy. Like, Danielson knows, like, anybody he steps into the ring with is a made man, whether they win or lose or tie. So that match I liked it a lot more than the 60-minute match, only because they both, at least Hangman came out with a purpose, right? Like, he came out guns blazing, ready to go. Danielson kind of tried to play it off, and we're like, oh god, here we go, another 60-minute, let's buckle in. And then Hangman just didn't let up. Like, he let it go, and they both just beat the shit out of each other.
Man, both were bleeding everywhere. I loved, Daniel Bryan had been doing the thing in this feud where he's doing the jumping jacks. I loved when Hangman was bloody and did the jumping jacks in the ring when they went to commercial. He's just like a bloody mess doing oh my god, it was so good. Man, that was just such a great match. My eyes were glued to the television. Like, even in the pictures, which I usually get taken out of it a little bit. They do.
Screw you guys. I'm on Fight. I can see the whole match.
Well,
yeah, but you got to see that really shitty chat room.
No, you just put that shit in full screen and you get it out of there. I put it on the TV.
We don't have the luxury.
Yeah,
we don't have the luxury.
The Fight chat. You thought Twitter was bad, guys? Go to a Fight TV chat and you
I bet.
Stab your eyes out.
Bet.
It's the worst.
That does not shock me to hear.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, suck on that, guys. I get something fine.
Yeah, no, we get the picture. We get the picture in picture, which I glance at it, but it usually takes. That's when I'm looking at my phone or checking things. But like during that match, I was like, it's hard, yeah. But during that match, I was. That was.
I miss the good old days of AEW, and JR would miss the picture-in-picture call.
Yeah.
We're about to go in picture-in-picture.
They're commentating straight through that for you, right? Obviously, the match is
so
still going. They're fully commentating during the commercials.
For anyone that is an international and doesn't get to see this on Fight, so basically how it goes is that it will be like, we'll be back in picture-in-picture, and then there'll be like a 5 to 10 second like gap with no commentary, and then they just pick up as if they were calling, and then there'll be right before we go back to on air on TBS now in the States, it'll just be like a 10-second silent gap with no commentary, and they'll be like, we're back here on. So it's pretty seamless. I don't even really notice, like, if I was to leave the room for 15 seconds and come back in, I wouldn't know whether in a commercial or not in the States. So it does. Commercial breaks can sometimes make or break a match. It can kind of take you out of it a lot. I'm very grateful that I can watch on Fight, and that we don't have a TV deal over here, and I can watch it on Fight and kind of just be like, well, I just get to watch the whole. Like, I watched that whole nearly 30-minute match.
Yeah.
Like the 60-minute match, I watched in full. Like, it was a full.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's hard because, I mean, the brilliance of the first match versus this match. Like the 60-minute match was really good, but like anything goes for 60 minutes, you're gonna get tired and you're gonna get a little bit like come on, like let's get to it. And really, I understand it all adds up to that last 3 minutes of that match. But that's what we're like. Then I was like, oh my God, it's 3 minutes. But this one was the polar opposite of that. It was not a technical wrestling match. It was a fight. And it seemed like at any point that match could end. They were actually trying to end the actual match from start to finish. And that's what I really liked. The contrast. Without the 60-minute, this wouldn't have been as brilliantly story told, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. So the match was, I like saying this now because you actually told me what it means. Muy bien.
Very good. Hey, throwback. He says, hey, boys, thanks for being awesome, JPJ. I know. Yeah, we're getting our first real winter snowstorm overnight tonight up here in Massachusetts. It's going to be a doozy. He says, Josh, keep kicking ass and taking names. Braun Breaker, Roman, and Brock walk into a Southie bar. Who wins? Brock Lesnar would murder both of them in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He asked me what I'm
He's an
plugging.
MMA heavyweight champion, past heavyweight champion. Over and done with. I mean, both of them together. I mean, if they maybe took them out together, maybe, but Brock is. You're an MMA fighter. You can take out most people. Man. All right. So, but also, there were a lot of things that happened on Dynamite last night. First of all, it was the first ever show on TBS.
Yeah.
That was the opener. We also saw, I know I said we would talk about someone else who was 0-1 this year. So MJF was supposed to wrestle against Shawn Dean. The bell rings and CM Punk runs right down, and MJF does what MJF does and slides out, avoiding confrontation. And they have a stare down, and then CM Punk gives the GTS to Shawn Dean, and he looks at MJF and he's like, hey, listen. And MJF gets disqualified and loses. And then this led to a pretty good back and forth between the two.
Pretty good. I mean,
yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Did you? Well, I mean, they had the classic one, the first bout that went for 20 minutes or so, but this one was also very, very good.
Sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
No.
First ever DQ finish in AEW history, by the way, which is pretty wild.
Yeah,
because they don't let that happen. You could.
Is that really the first ever?
Tony Khan tweeted out. He said, "First ever time in AEW television history between Rampage and Dynamite that we've ever had a DQ finish on television, which is insane. It felt really special. Like
because
it felt
they
like
happen every other match on the other show.
Yeah, exactly. And that is how you counter program something. That's how you be not the competition, you be the alternative. And that's what I really like when they do that stuff. I know they do a lot of other stuff, but the line that the line from MJF to Punk with the
Roddy Piper,
that was good. But that you can go main event night 4 of a buy one get one free extravaganza and then get released faster than you can last in the sack. I think that was word for word what CM Punk said.
Yeah,
and I was like, I went, holy shit.
Well,
I don't mind. I know I'm one that kind of doesn't like jabs at WWE, but that was less of a jab. Well, it was a jab. Let's be honest. It was a jab at WWE, but it was more it felt right in the context of the situation. It wasn't just taking a jab just to fling your dick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man. And I agree with Dan in the comments. He said Punk heard Mania and saw red. It's like, all right, I'm going. Yo, you want to talk about WrestleMania? I'm going. MJF also, so he did say that line, and that's what set it off. Where he goes, yeah, you got really angry when I talked about Roddy Piper and said that I was Roddy Piper. Like, do you think you're Roddy Piper? Because one thing that Roddy Piper did that you never did was main event a WrestleMania. I was like, oh shit. Shit. Oh man. But then MJF said also, he goes, yeah, you know what? And if I don't start getting treated with some respect around here, maybe one day I'll main event a WrestleMania. And we know that's not the first time that he's referenced possibly going to WWE.
That boy knows what he's doing.
Oh, of course he does. He is a smart individual.
How do you be a heel in AEW? Be pro WWE.
Literally. We got our buddy Joel Pearl just popped in the chat. He said between two beards and a mustache.
I love Joel Pearl.
Yeah, I love Joe
guy.
Pearl as
Joel.
well.
My
One of
I
my
question
always say
favorites.
Joel Pearl. I don't know why I say his whole name all the time, but it's just
Well,
like
it's all one
I-
word right there.
it's
There was
one
no
word.
space.
That's his name.
it's a
Joel
great,
Yes.
Pearl.
it's a
It
great
is.
strong.
And we
name,
heart you
Joe
too, my
Pearl.
friend.
It's not.
And he plays the ba-da-dum slapping the bass. He loves the bass guitar.
Oh man,
Fingers
yeah.
do the
And
rockin',
Dan
as
is
they say
right.
in School of
Danielson
Rock.
in his first heel promo, he mentioned WrestleMania as well. Look at
or B. Cody. Damn.
or be Cody Rhodes. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Mm,
bless.
bless. But yeah, I thought this was super, super good. That line that you referenced that Punk said was just
Muy
it's
bien.
just real. Yeah, muy bien. Very good. It was just it was real, real good. We also saw the culmination of the TBS tournament in the finals. It was
Yeah,
one
we did.
Jade Cargill, that bitch,
Show.
defeating Ruby Soho
well,
to become the first
it's the
ever
bitch show.
TBS champion, the inaugural
I
TBS
would've done
champion,
that.
and it is officially that bitch show.
Okay. I may have an unhinged in me about this.
Oh, all right.
Uh-oh.
I got a little pissed off yesterday on Twitter, and I don't
Oh boy.
like getting pissed off.
Okay.
23 matches Jade Cargill has had in her televised career. 23. On her 23rd match, she become the first ever champion of a first ever championship. Does that make any sense?
Inaugural champion of New Belt.
Whatever.
I guess.
She's the first
Okay.
ever champion of the 14th
The first time
generation of this title.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. Shut the fuck up, Josh, you silly idiot. Okay, so Jade Cargill's had 23 matches. Okay, she's green. Yeah, okay, I'd be green too if I've only had 23 televised matches. Okay, so she's only won because Tony Khan is trying to save face from the big swole incident. I think
No.
Jade Cargill was penciled in from the mother damn start of this
Ooh.
tournament way before we even knew about the tournament for a TBS championship.
Save that
there's
question.
That too. Okay.
We'll talk about that in a second, but save that question. Continue, Josh. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But I'm with you.
Why do people have to get on Jade Cargill? Oh, she's not ready for this spot. She's not ready for this. She's okay. When are you ready for anything in life ever? No one is ever truly ready for anything. Sometimes it's just about throwing someone into the pool and seeing if they swim.
Yep.
The
I
haters
agree.
of Jade Cargill and all of this thing.
2.0.
And honestly, another thing is that I will never understand what it's like to be a black person. But sometimes more often than not, black people get more criticized for the little things they do than when their white counterpart does the same thing. There's a lot of white women that walk around that are greener than Jade Cargill and don't get near as much of the flack.
Well,
Jade
and right
Cargill
here,
gets.
Matt says, "Hey, Braun Breaker has only been around for 4 months, and I don't hear."
Does anybody say that he's
Yeah,
green?
exactly.
Does anybody say that he stuffs up this spot? There's this clip going around of Jade Cargill going into the victory roll. Okay, early. All right, Pluggo, if you said something like that, you know what my thing would be? Have you ever taken a victory roll in your life? Do you know how to do it? Do any of these people on Twitter know how to take a victory roll? Do any of these people know how to take a DDT?
Well,
do any of these people know how to get thrown over the top rope? No, they fucking don't. So shut the fuck up.
The problem is, and I saw it all too, and I actually wanted to bring this up today, was like not everybody, I should say, this section of the internet wrestling community that thinks everybody has to be Daniel Bryan, right? Not every wrestler is going to be some technical wizard. That would be boring, right? You need the
flavors.
You need variety. You need variety.
You need the charisma. Like, we always look back and act like Stone Cold Steve Austin was this like technical wizard in the ring. He wasn't. He was more of he could wrestle, right? But was he putting on 5-star banger spot fest? No. I mean, everybody expects them to be. She's, like you said, she's green. She's got a star presence about her. She looks the part. When you see her on screen, you're like, what is she gonna do? She looks
is
amazing.
She is not someone that when you see on your screen, you're gonna just switch the channel because you're like, who is this?
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Amazing woman that's on my screen that doesn't really look like anybody else that's in the mainstream media. By the way, there's not a lot of people that look like her. There isn't, and she's different. And she has what an amazing moment it is to have her daughter in the crowd. And then that picture of her holding up what a role model that is for other people. And I'm not just saying other black people. It doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Gender aside, race aside, anything like that. you are looking at someone that's like doing obviously what she does have a natural gift for.
Yeah.
Of course, there's anybody.
And-
Brian Danielson still learns in the ring every single day, but it's like what Pluggo said. It's different flavors of ice cream. She brings something that no one else does to the table, and let her. We have to sometimes. Opportunity is what everybody's. We just want someone to get an opportunity. We just want someone to get an opportunity.
And then when they do,
Well,
they're not ready.
Liv Morgan is in the same spot. Very different circumstances, but people are like, Liv Morgan is not ready for this spot now that she's in this spot. But you've been clamoring for someone else to be in this spot. But when it is, it's boring. I'm sick of them having the same match all the time. It's the same. It's different circumstances, but it's the same deal.
It's wrestling, and not everything has to be polished, clean. Sometimes a fight is a fight, right? It's dirty. It's not always perfect. And that's something I always never understood.
I like when things go wrong. Injuries aside, but I like when things go wrong because it makes it real. Even though we all know what wrestling is, but like a lot of people were talking about the spot at the very end, the jaded from the top rope, like the middle rope to the thing.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest landing, but it's not supposed to be.
Okay, but did it look like it hurt? Did it look like it should take out Ruby Soho?
Yeah.
Because it looked like it freaking hurt, and I'll be like, well, that would knock me the hell out.
Yeah.
It
And she was just in a fight for like 20 minutes.
That was one of her, if not her, the longest match she's ever been in. Yeah. Her arm had been worked on the whole match, and I want to get back to the question that Spencer under the Love Wrestling. Do we think? Yeah. Do you want to say something, Pluggo, before we get into that question?
I was just gonna say, to touch on Josh's point about the Tony Khan thing. We were gonna touch on it, the comments he made. We all know we're not the people to really discuss that. All I was gonna say is, if you're using that now because Jade Cargill won yesterday, you're absolutely not paying attention to AEW because she literally has been since
she's undefeated.
Since day one, they put her in the Shaq spot.
Yep,
that's the highest profile. They knew something was good with her. She's undefeated. She's been penciled in by anybody you listen to who said Jade's going to be the winner, and they stuck with it. And if AEW has done anything, they'll show us that if it's not working, they'll move off of it. But give her the shot. If she takes the ball and runs with it, like Braun Breaker, he took the ball, he's ran with it. We want to see him beat Roman Reigns in the Royal, at Mania. So.
Yeah. I can't wait till Jade Cargill is main eventing AEW shows and just says "kiss my freaking ass."
But anyway, 100%. back to the
Joel has a good comment where he says Jade was also smart enough not to do that. Jaded from the top rope. You need to know your limits, and she did it to the best way of her. But that's you don't think of it that way most times. You'll just be like, oh, they botched that. It's like, well, sometimes
she looked like it wasn't
Josh
work.
Robinson or Magnum P. JK, love the beautiful stash and good to see some.
I get a lot of.
Get some love for that mustache.
I really do. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I am just sexy with it or something. I don't know what it is, but it's like, come kiss me, boys.
Yeah, but very good to see HCW Sports in here. Always a pleasure to have you guys in here. But yes, so Love Wrestling, I believe it is Spencer under there. He asked, does Ruby Soho lose too much? Has she been losing too much? She has lost more times than not. All the big matches, she's lost them all. I mean, she made it to the finals of the tournament. So that is a feat in itself. She did not have a first round bye either. Commentary was very strong on that throughout the match. So those are big matches that she won to get to the finals of the tournament. But in her two biggest bouts, the one against Britt Baker for the championship and last night against Jade Cargill, she lost both of them. And she's lost a couple other matches on the way as well.
Does Ruby Soho lose too much? 10 AEW wins?
3
AEW losses.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. There's a lot of people with a lot worse records than that.
It's just that her losses are
just big losses.
She lost the Grand Slam match.
She has two. Yeah,
obviously the match we seen yesterday.
I mean, Daniel Bryan hasn't won in a big spot yet either. Does he lose?
You can argue that. His biggest matches, he's either drawn or lost now. He hasn't.
But AEW has been doing this since inception. When they get ex-WWE wrestlers, they put them in the big matches and the big spots because that's what people want to see. And more often than not, they take the L in those big spots. And then eventually some of them get back up.
Okay,
Like,
no disrespect to Ruby Soho at all, because everyone knows how much I love Ruby. But her and Bryan Danielson are not the same ex WWE wrestler.
I know
She is someone that's come in with a lot of potential from
Yeah.
WWE. But we seen Bryan come in with someone who reached the literal pinnacle of wrestling. You won at WrestleMania in the main event. There's
No,
really
I'm
not
just
much
he
higher.
lost that one
No, I know
too.
what you're saying. No, but I know what you mean. But like, I think there's a difference in.
I just mean they did it with Brody Lee. He came in, got a title shot pretty quick,
true.
took the L. Moxley might have won. I think he might have won early. But like Miro took an L early. Like,
it's true.
It's not. They're just putting them in. We think that they're these big losses because they come in, and we as the wrestling community, in a lot of ways, build these debuts up into this big, massive deal, and we think, oh, here's this big WWE superstar, and they're coming in and they're losing in big spots in AEW because that's just the mind where it's conditioned that way. I mean, AEW is still in a lot of ways the little brother. They're doing a lot of good. They're kicking a lot of ass. They're the most. We watch the show and talk about the show probably more.
They're the product I enjoy most.
They're the product I enjoy
Yes.
most. I don't miss. I always got to watch. Whether I have to watch AEW because I feel like I'm missing something. But in the internet wrestling community mindset, they are still like, so Big Bad Miro, here he is. Oh, look, can't even get the AEW championship. Is he losing too much? No, he's just losing a big spot. Also, because we never saw those guys in those big spots in the other show. Like Ruby never was in. She faced Charlotte once for the SmackDown Women's title. She killed it, and then they didn't do anything with her after that.
Joel says, people want more than one women's match on AEW TV. That is 100% correct.
Yep.
Why not have Jade squash someone on Saturday for Battle of the Belts? It is a TBS show. After all.
Give her the Wardlow spot
TNT
in the women's
show, isn't
division.
it?
Yeah,
Battle of the Belts is on TNT, isn't it?
It might be.
Is it?
They do specials.
Yeah,
they do
it's on
special
TNT.
TNT. But yeah, give Jade that too.
Regardless.
I'd be cool with that. Let her squash.
Regardless, I'm with Joel. I want more than one women's match. Yeah. One women's match that's of significant length does not mean that that's enough. Sometimes you do need quantity, and in this case, you do need more than one. I understand there's other women's segments, but it's the same thing every week. One women's match, a video package, a backstage segment. Like, can we just get a couple? Do we really need all of these segments?
Sprinkle them out.
Yeah, just sometimes you need a B story. That's all I say.
Yeah, I would agree. And hopefully now that there's at least
they just ended their B story is Deeb and Sheeta, and their other B story was Tay Conti and the Bunny and all that. But they do it like you said. It's like 9:15. All right, here's your match. Your segment.
And Joel says it's a TNT show. Well, F everything I give up. Yeah, we still love you, pal. We still love you.
I think they're. I think TNT is still part of the deal. Getting like the event on Saturday a few times a year, but I think mainly it's going to be TBI. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know that.
I think TNT is going to get quarterly special events.
Deeb and Sheeta is next week, but that's going to be the only match they have on Dynamite. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. And I think that's the issue. Is most likely that will be the only women's match on the show.
You're going to have Jade. What are you doing with Jade? She just won the TBS title. Or
I expect she'll have a promo of some sort, and that'll be that. And then So I mean, again. AEW is the product I enjoy the most, but there should be more than just one women's match a show. It's a 2-hour show. You can easily have one per hour. And I think that would, there should be more. There should just be more. And there you go. I do agree with Matt, though, that last Deeb versus Sheeta match, it would be very good if they added a stipulation on that. Submission match or 2 out of 3 falls or something. Like, I could watch those two wrestle every week. Yeah. All right. The last thing I want to touch on Dynamite, is we saw a big title change to end the show. Jurassic Express defeated the Lucha Brothers to win the AEW Tag Team titles. Kind of got overshadowed a little bit. And I do agree, Dan, he just said it there. Bobby said it earlier. I think an open challenge by Jade Weekly I'd be all for that. That would be great. If she were to do a TBS open challenge, I think that would be very cool. I think if you give her an indie wrestler, she could destroy a few of them, but then have really solid matches. I think she should be wrestling on TV every week. That's just how I feel. I think it kind of got overshadowed by the Ray Phoenix injury. Obviously, very, very gnarly looking injury. Very gnarly. And the reports that no fracture and no significant damage, and he might not be out as long as people hope. Like that was, it did not look that way. It did not look that way when it happened.
My God.
Goodness gracious. A lot of people have been waiting for Jungle Boy specifically, but them to win get their first big title win and things like that. And I feel like because the injury happened and the way it went down and things of that nature, the moment, at least for me, wasn't as big as it should have been, because I was like, all you're thinking about is, oh my God, I just watched that man's arm shatter, literally shatter. But all in all, like, I'm a big fan of Jungle Boy. I like Jurassic Express as a whole, but I'm a big fan of Jungle Boy. I think a lot of us are. And it was a good moment. They had his mom and his sister there, and there's a good Jungle Man. Yes, he is Jungle Man now.
He got that beard. He's got that.
He's got the scruff a little bit.
He's been watching the show.
Yeah, and there was a good thing that I saw where, like, after he grabbed the title for the first time, he kind of looked up to the sky. I'm sure thinking about his dad and stuff like that. So what do we think about the main event and Jurassic Express? Kind of, I don't think it was. There are some people, obviously, on social media, because why not? There are some people saying that they changed the booking because of the injury. No, I think they were supposed to win anyway. Do we think it was like an anticlimactic ending, or do we just think that injury happened and it kind of just threw the vibe off of the title change, because everyone was focused on
where the hell is Marco's stunt then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't he hurt?
Is he hurt? Is that why?
It's not like he did anything where he couldn't just come
well,
out.
no, he used to get involved sometimes and take bumps.
I mean, my big thing is, like, I just like how it's Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and their pal Christian.
Yeah. Christian's like
random.
the
I understand it makes sense, but like,
Yeah.
he's just hanging out with a dinosaur and a
You think
the boy.
You think the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are sitting off to the side and just like, he keeps showing up?
He's here every week.
Does he know that I'm not a real dinosaur? Like,
and it's just like, it's been too long, so they're just kind of like, well,
Like,
we can't say anything now because it's going to be awkward on us.
like what happens here.
Well,
is,
It's just their pal
Pluggo's
Christian.
here, so
But to answer your question, JPJ, I think it was a mixture of both, because we seen the arm thing happen and we're like, ugh.
yeah.
But also it was just kind of like and I was like, oh, it's over.
Well, that I don't think we expected Jurassic Express to win, because they just gave the title to the Lucha Bros and they were on a good roll. Plus,
how about that?
We always see Jungle Boy lose in these spots.
Marco Stunt is training for The Voice. He's going to be on The Voice. So there you go. That's where Marco Stunt is. Singing away.
I've heard him sing. He's not bad. I just don't know if he's like Pharrell Williams good, or whoever's on The Voice. Kelly Clarkson might not turn around. I don't know.
Ariana Grande.
Oh, is she on there too? I know.
I don't know. I'm not
one of the
American
Jonas
guys,
brothers. One of the Jonas brothers was on last season.
Was he? I did not know that.
He's a coach.
We used to have Joe Jonas on the Voice Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
And Kelly Rowland.
Oh,
Hey,
We had
all
Boy
right.
George. We had Boy George. Rita Ora was on there.
All right.
For those that don't know,
Seal. We used to have Seal.
the voice.
Seal. Kiss from
We
a
used to have
Rose.
Seal,
One
and
of
he's
the
always
best.
like,
Kiss from
"Oh."
a Rose.
We had Keith Urban, but he is Australian, to be
Yeah,
fair.
I knew that one. I know he was Australian. I want to talk about Dan's comment a little earlier. Yeah, I don't think they audibled. So he says, I think they audibled something after the injury. They spent too much time focusing on the teams on the ramp. So one thing that I do think they did audible out of because of the injury was the House of Black debuts. I don't think they audibled and changed I think the Jurassic Express was winning the titles, but I think the way they were going to win the titles was by the two guys, because Aleister Black, either on social medias or a vignette, said that two people were debuting that were supposed to debut last night. Before the match happened, Malachi Black was fighting Brian Pillman Jr., and he went in there and looked like he was going to go after Julia Hart again, and the Lucha Brothers came out to stop it. The lights went out, and then when they came back on, the Lucha Brothers were in the ring, and Malachi Black was on the ramp, leaving angrily. during the match before the Rey Fenix injury, the lights went out.
Mm.
I think what was supposed to happen was the two people that were going to debut in the House of Black were going to cost the Lucha Bros the titles. But because Rey Fenix got hurt, that the ending of the match had to be different.
Well,
I don't think the championship change was different, but that's the vibe that I got. Because why would you do the thing before the match and tease it if you weren't going to do anything? But they had a legitimate reason why they couldn't, because his arm fell off.
Well, and that's the other reason that it probably just feels weird is it's how it's hard to celebrate when your like co-worker's arm is dangling off on the side, right? And they probably panned a lot to the top of the stage to not have, maybe there was some medical teams working on Ray and they didn't want to get him in the shot type thing. It just, the injury overshadowed what is an awesome moment for the Jurassic Express. And I'm sure they'll have a great tag run. They're a really great tag team. Jungle Boy is phenomenal. Luchasaurus does some crazy stuff that a guy his size shouldn't be able to do.
Yep.
I just think it was just an unfortunate circumstance that, like I said, it's hard to celebrate a title win and make it feel special when we all just saw his arm turn to jello.
Like, Rey Fenix is a guy that I feel like everyone really everyone appreciates how good he is in that ring, like in the stuff he does.
He's my favorite.
Thank you,
like,
HCW Sports. I appreciate that. I'm always on the top of my game, baby. Always.
That's why I hitch my wagon to your star. Right?
No, I'm lucky to be working with both of you right now. And I'm the lucky
Ready.
one.
I'm going to make them. And this is going to be the most Josh Robertson answer every way. Obviously.
Clip that, because off air he'll be like, "You bum,
you piece of shit." No. But yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about because I got a compliment and I was like, "Ooh!" So I don't even know I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Ego was stroked.
It was. I love it. I love me some me. You know.
And we love all of our fans. We love all you guys for stopping by. I know we say that probably weekly, but it's true. Thank you.
I always say this: my favorite part about me is when other people talk about me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a famous NFL receiver. His name is Terrell Owens. And that was one of his quotes one week after he had a really good game. He said, "I love me some me." And I always thought that I'm surprised a wrestler hasn't used that in a promo. I think that's like a
He also cried on
line.
TV and said, That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. Yes, I know. He was quite a character. And it was, but he was a damn good receiver. Anyway, but that was Dynamite. It's like 9:45, so it's probably a little too late to do a draft, which is fine. Josh, any other wrestling news or anything else you wanted to discuss? Or then maybe we can just do some plugs and get out of here.
Is there anything going on in the world of wrestling that I want to talk about? I know what. Wait, one thing I don't think you talked about. How damn great was that sunset flip springboard thing Liv Morgan did to Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
On day one. Actually, there's something better to talk about. Something else too. Beth Phoenix's hair. Why? Is
I told you on the J&J Power Hour. It's from that video game. It's the hairstyle of the main character in the Horizon
Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn video game
something
franchise.
Like that. Horizon Zero.
I assumed she was going because, Edge kind of looks like a caveman type deal. And you remember Encino Man with Pauly Shore?
Of course, and Brendan Fraser.
And she had the Betty across her jacket. Yep. That's what I thought they were going for.
Edge is another one of those older guys that can kind of get it. Good for Edge.
Yeah, I was watching wrestling this week. Well, no, he's a good-looking guy. It is.
He's a handsome man.
He's a handsome lad. I will openly admit it. I'm good. I have no problem admitting that. No, but I was watching wrestling this week with somebody who normally doesn't watch wrestling, and the two people that they reacted to.
So you hung out with Ed?
Oh no, maybe AEW.
Only because the wordsmith in the chat that pops him.
Our ongoing feud with Ed. No, but where Jay Cargill, who we talked about earlier, Jay Cargill came out and they immediately said, "Who's that? Who's that?" That's what they said to me. Who is that? And I was like, "Oh, that's Jay Cargill. She's probably going to win this title right now." That's what everyone thinks is going to
But
happen.
that's what you
and they were
want
like,
to happen.
yes, they almost never have watched wrestling before. I can almost guarantee it was probably the first time they watched wrestling at any length. And when Jay Cargill came out, that was the first immediately like, who is that?
That's
That
because
makes
she's that bitch.
That makes me
That's what I should have said.
think-
She's that bitch.
I don't
That's
think
what I
I
should have
told.
said.
That reminds me of my Grayson Waller story for Josh. So I was watching NXT 2.0. Hang with me.
Hang
So
with worth it, man.
I was watching NXT 2.0, and my wife doesn't really watch. She kind of pays attention here and there. And she walks by the screen and she goes, "Who's that D-bag?" And I was like, "His name is Grayson Waller." Well, he looks like he has STDs. And she's like,
Wow.
She goes, "I don't like it." And she walked away.
Goodness gracious.
She is called Grayson Waller a whore.
Oh my goodness. This is a PG show, Pluggo. There's kids watching.
I love your wife.
I really like that.
Oh, man almighty.
But that's what
That
you
is
want.
something.
But either way, for better
That's
or
what you
worse,
want? That's
you
what you
want-
want? People to think, oh, that guy.
Yes, you want the casual, non-wrestling diehard to be intrigued in some way to go, I like that person, I don't like that person. Give me more, that backstory, and that's what you want out of your product.
Yes.
Because we're gonna watch it regardless of if
Yeah, they
it's
have
good or
us. Like,
bad.
we're
They've
invested.
got us.
They
You
have us,
need
you
to
know?
get the friends of JPJ,
Yeah,
the
it's
Mrs.
not about
Pluggos of the world. Invested.
And I think that's what it is. Is like I still say this with WWE because I still watch most of the product. Like they have me. They've had me. Like I've been invested in them my whole life, basically. Like,
yeah,
I'm probably not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
is
They need to appeal to other people, but they also you can do that, but still respect the fans like us. You know what I mean? And I feel like WWE just goes for those people. That's it. They're like, we don't really care about the people that watch every week because we don't. They show us weekly that they don't care that we watched last week because we're watching the same shit every week. At least AEW, just from a booking perspective, they go more towards our direction. They're like, no, we want to have booked this show so the people that watch every week feel fulfilled that they've been watching the show for a year and a half or whatever,
and then
like that.
And then their friends that have annoyed them every week going, AEW is amazing.
It's so good, man. You gotta watch it. They're like, all right, I'll watch it. Jesus. Yeah. And man, I just think that's the difference, right? I still watch WWE Weekly. I still enjoy certain aspects and segments. I thought NXT New Year's Evil was terrific.
Yeah.
I thought that was terrific. I thought there were parts of Raw that were good. I loved Lesnar when he had the title and he said, acknowledge me. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, I love it. Like there's certain things on
He
Raw.
Was so damn happy to win that title.
I am all in on Babyface Brock.
He was just
I'm all in on Babyface Brock. I like Babyface Brock.
He was stroking it. He was
I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
But anyway. Yeah.
But anyway.
Pluggo, anything else?
Yeah, actually.
Did we miss anything?
No, I don't think we missed anything major of the week. I did want to bring this up. It's a little somber note. I just wanted to shout out, if HCW Sports is in the chat, they'll know who I'm talking about here. Our local wrestling scene lost a really good dude this week. Ref Randy, as everybody knows him. Super nice guy. One of the best guys just in our scene. And he passed away suddenly the other day. So I wanted to shout out him and let them know that my thoughts are with him and his family at this time. Just a good dude. And when you lose a good dude in that scene, I just had to shout it out. Alex, I believe, knows Randy as well. I think I met Alex at that wrestling show where Randy was reffing my first time I went to an indie show. So had to shout that out. Other than that, I don't really have anything like going. I almost got hit by a car this week. I mean, it's been a long week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Josh, you missed that.
Hold up. What?
Yeah, Pluggo's brakes
went out of my car when I was driving on the road, and
his brakes just blew out, and he couldn't stop, so he was weaving in and out of hitting other cars.
I've been distracted this week with car problems and all.
He told me this story off air. I was like, "Holy moly!" I was like, "Thank God you're alive."
No, it sounds like the year 2022 is going to be a big year for us here at Between Two Beards. We got some things in the works.
Pluggo needs to buy some new brakes.
some
Yeah,
new
we gotta-
brakes.
we gotta
I
get
took
out there
care of
more.
that today.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
pricey.
you guys,
We-
please throw us your money. Oh, speaking of which, don't we have a sponsor we need to plug?
We do. We're
Which-
talking about some Manscaped.
Josh's face is clearly manscaped into a mustache.
Yes,
if you
he did.
if you see my face, you should see my junk.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Well,
The carpet matched the drapes. Is that
Trust me, there's none of this going on down there.
yeah. Well, if you
And
want to
why
stay
is that,
groomed,
Josh?
yeah,
Why would that be, JPJ? Why would that be?
because of Manscaped.
Ah.
I have been a customer of Manscaped for years now. I know,
Me too.
Josh, you also use the products. I'm a big fan of them. They have a multitude of products. They have the lawnmower, which is used to trim. You know, me and Pluggo have been saying it every week. You don't want your downstairs looking like our upstairs. That's just not what you want.
That's
Some people are into it.
My,
Cool.
my
You do
favorite
you.
part of Manscaped is they can use that shit in the shower.
Yes, 100%.
Waterproof.
Quickly charged. It's easy.
Yep.
Shave all
When
the-
I
all the
was-
bits.
When I was nearing my potential death with my car issues and I'm sweating down there, nothing felt better than coming home and slapping some crop preserver on the old boys.
There you go.
And getting
Crop
it back-
preserver. You
getting
get your
it
ball
back to
yeah,
school.
you have your ball deodorant, keep it fresh. They have ball wipes to keep it fresh as well that I have used in the past. Yeah, I've been a huge fan of theirs. They ship things to me every few months. That's how much I enjoy their product. And as you can see scrolling below us down the bottom, if you use the promo code LOVEWRESTLING at manscaped.com, you will receive 20% off. I stand by these products. We stand by these products. I know Josh does as well, and Pluggo. All of us here at Love Wrestling. So go.
By the way, Manscaped is good for okay, you boys need some love.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as a gay man, I don't like to have a lot of hair. I like to shave my legs. So it works for shaving your legs too, guys. So any guys out there, or a lot of straight dudes shave their legs now anyway, because it's a thing. But I shave my legs. So and it
Did I
works for my
miss
legs.
the memo?
Doesn't cut me or anything. I get real hairy legs. I don't love it.
Okay.
So yeah, it works for that too. So 20% off. Use Love Wrestling. Come on.
Yeah,
it's easy.
use Love Wrestling.
Stop
Show
by and
Manscaped
tell
some
them
love,
you
but
sent
by you using the Love Wrestling code, that means that you're showing them that you have love for us, and it will work for everybody. So go to manscaped.com, use the promo code Love Wrestling, and get that 20% off.
And
You will
if
not
you
regret it.
use the promo code, if I ever meet any of you guys in public, and when the COVID pandemic is over, I'll give you a little kiss.
There you go.
Little one on the
How
side.
can you not be going to
With this
manscaped.com
stash?
right now?
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Who wouldn't want
Lothario.
one?
He's a Lothario over there. Come on.
does that
It tickles
mean?
a little bit, you know. When
That just
What's a
means
li-
like you're a romantic. Lothario.
Oh,
A
shit. Yeah,
Lothario
yeah.
of hearts. You know?
Yeah, bitch. That's me.
That's right. Speaking of, plug your shit, Josh. What do you got coming up? Here
January
on Love Wrestling?
24th.
Yes.
Yeah, January 24th. It is the big return of the Legacy of. We are doing the Legacy of Dr. Britt Baker DMD. That is going to be on January 24th. I've also announced the first 4 subjects of the very first 4 episodes of season 2. So if you did miss it, it's Dr. Britt Baker. The Monday after Royal Rumble Day. The day after Royal Rumble, because the day after Royal Rumble, because that's on like a Saturday night.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Rumble's on a Saturday, I believe. Yes.
The day after Royal Rumble, it's going to be the Legacy of the Divas Championship, which I know a lot of people have opinions about. We got Melina Perez coming up, and we got Becky Lynch in the first 4 episodes of the Legacy of. And the Legacy of is changing up. It's bigger and better than before. I've got a whole team of people working with me now. It's a whole production. So get ready for the Legacy of coming up at the end of the month. Follow me on TikTok. I'm nearly at 2,000 followers, guys. on TikTok.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, I'll be plugging away brand sponsorships before you know it. So mind your business very soon. What else? Twitch.tv/Josh Robinson_00. I'm having a lot of fun on there. Yeah, other than that, you know me. I'm always doing something. And follow me on Twitter. My name is right there because I'm a lunatic and it's fun.
Yeah.
You're
You are-
unhinged.
You are one of my
I
favorite
talk about
follows.
I literally will talk about anything on Twitter. I do not have any shame in my game.
Mhm.
And that's just how I am. Talk to me about music, wrestling, slapping your
There
ass. I
was
don't care.
something that we
Jump-
can't talk about on air because this is a family show, but you were tweeting about it the other day, and I was like,
Oh god, I
That's
didn't even know
Josh.
what you were.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know what you were referring to. Well, that's fun.
I was like, that's Josh.
It was probably about be like touching doodles or something. I don't know. Usually that's what it's about.
Pluggo, tell the people where they can support Between Two Beards and find our social medias for the show here.
Well, you can find us on Twitter at B2Beards. You can find me at Pluggo_. You can find him at Joseph Poulin Jr. There's an underscore in yours too.
Yeah.
You should switch it to JPJ. Anyway,
But not
Twitter-
on Instagram.
Not
Yeah,
on
don't follow me
Instagram.
on Instagram. That shit got hacked.
Yeah, that's
Report
not
that
you.
shit.
We're on Between Two
Unfollow me.
Beards
I'll have a new
on-
one soon.
on Facebook as well and TikTok. We're taking over the world.
I was going to say, yes, mention the TikTok. B2 Beards on
B2
TikTok.
Beards
We
on
don't have
TikTok.
nearly the almost 2,000 followers that Josh has, but
That's
No,
right,
we're,
bitch.
we're working on it.
we're working on it.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
I'm like
but-
learning. I'm like trying to teach Braun Strowman how to do things. Like I don't understand it, but we're getting there. We're figuring it out. Just show us some love. Show Love Wrestling some love. I'll let JPJ do that. He can do those plugs. He's really good at that stuff. He's got the voice for it,
you know?
Love
Yeah, so
Wrestling.
Love Wrestling, you can find us at lovewrestling.ca.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can, right here where you're watching us, whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, we have shows all week, always. Josh already told you, Legacy of is coming soon. We do the Sunday brunch every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That is one of the pillars, flagships of Love Wrestling.
Never be on it 'cause
Poetry
you got
of
it
a
at 4 a.m.
promo,
my
bro.
time.
Poetry of a promo with our buddy, the Wordsmith, Pluggo's best friend,
Best
the
friend.
Wordsmith. You can go find that. You can go on our YouTube. Josh actually has them all bunched up by show. He does that behind the scenes, some stuff. He has them all so you can just pick a show and run through every episode in order. They're all in there. Very easy to find, very easy to handle. So go on our YouTube. Like I said at the beginning of the show, give us a thumbs up, give us a follow, subscribe. On Twitch, do the same. We got stuff coming every week by a bunch of good people, and we're going to go bigger and better in 2022. This is just the start of the year, obviously. So, and we also, down below here,
Shirts.
yes, we have some merch and shirts over at whatamaneuver.net/collections/love-wrestling-ca. And I think very, very soon you might see some
wrestling tees.
you might see some Between Two Beards t-shirts popping up there relatively soon. It looks
There
like
might
maybe
already be some Josh Robertson 00 shirts on there, so you can go and have a look
there
at
we
that.
go.
It's the same link. Just put in Josh Robinson 00 instead of Love Wrestling. Oh, dude, actually, here's an idea. Why don't, instead of buying one shirt, you just say, well, I'm paying shipping already to my house. Let's get 2. Maybe even get 3.
Yeah.
You could get yourself a Love Wrestling shirt. You could get yourself a Josh Robinson 00 shirt. You could potentially get yourself a Between Two Beards shirt, maybe a CFG stream shirt, which is a part of the Love Wrestling gang, a part of me and everything like that. Just go and bundle up. And instead of paying one thing of shipping, you may as well bulk it up a little, get a few. And then, you have What a Maneuver are a great bunch of people. They have a great social media presence too.
Yes, I started. You told me this. I started following them on the Twitter, and they are a very good follow.
Twitter.
Very,
Did
very.
it again.
The Twitter.
He went old man on us
I
again.
did. Yeah, I started following them on Twitter. Very good follow. Very good follow. Yeah, so check them out. Buy some shirts. Support us. We'll be back here next Thursday, same time, 8:30 p.m. for another
I won't
episode of
be.
Between Two Beards.
Maybe. You never
Josh,
know.
thank you for hopping in. It was
That's
unplanned,
fine.
but it ended up being
That's 'cause
quite a
you're
show
hijacked.
per usual.
Because you're here on Friday. You
It
won't
is-
be
it
here
is-
next Thursday.
Well, that's
'cause it's
to be
Friday.
fair. You are right. It is
Yeah,
Friday
Josh
at
is in the future.
1:30. It's
Yeah,
1:30.
Josh
You
is
can
in
see
the
it,
future.
right?
So he is. That's one of the coolest things is that I talk to him all the time. I'm like, wow, you're just in the future.
And it's
Yeah.
still shit, everyone. Everyone still has COVID.
It is true. All right. On that note, thank you all for in the chat. You guys are great, always with your comments and things like that. We'll see you all next week, 8:30 p.m., same time on all these platforms. Josh, thank you again for joining. Pluggo, I'll talk to you very soon, my friend. Until next time, peace out.